Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the October 19th, 2021 meeting of the Orangetown Plan and Zoning Commission. I am Commissioner Ozzie Parenti.
Tamara Trantalis, Administrative Assistant.
Tom Tarenti.
Paul Kaplan.
Kevin Cornell.
Judy Smith.
Jack Demergen, Zoning Enforcement Officer.
All right, thank you. Let's get started with our agenda. First item is a review of the minutes from the October 5, 2021 meeting. Has everyone gotten a chance to look those minutes over? Tammy, I had no questions or comments on the minutes. Tom, anything?
Nothing.
All right, then, Judy, Kevin, you're all set? Okay.
Move to accept the minutes for October 5th, 2021 meeting.
I will second that motion.
All right, we have a motion, it's been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next item on the agenda is old business. Does anyone have anything under that topic they wish to discuss this evening? It's gonna be a quick meeting tonight. How about under the topic of new business, item 3 on the agenda?
No, it was old business.
Well, we can go back.
Yeah, we'll go back for a second. So, Jack, the temporary signs on the Route 1, did we start enforcing the
Yeah,
law?
I cleaned up quite a bit of them probably about a month ago at this point. Sorry. Yeah, I had cleaned up Route 1 quite a bit a month ago. I was driving today and noticed that 1 or 2 places had put them back up. So that's something I'd be happy to address next time I am available.
You reminded me, I'm not sure it's in Orange or Milford, but right before you get to Costco. It's a mattress
Yeah.
bedding. Is that Orange?
That's just over the line in Milford.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because that's a horrible.
No,
mess.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. I almost made that mistake, and I thought maybe I should check the lines here before I start yelling at
Do
people.
you have
in
any
Milford.
friends over in Milford?
Yeah, no, I don't.
So the front of Costco, right, is Milford, but there's a portion in the back toward Sarah Circle, I think, that's orange.
I believe you are
Yeah.
correct, yes.
Yeah, I remember taking the appeal. All right.
But this place is clearly in.
It's in Milford, yeah.
It's too bad. Okay. Anything else under either new or old business? Okay, then item number 4 on our agenda is report of the zoning enforcement officer. Jack, do you have anything for us?
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. Kevin, I know last meeting you had asked about school buses in the residential zone. I went back and I looked through the regs. I didn't see anything that touched on specifically buses in the res district. So currently, to my knowledge, we would treat them as any vehicle that's over obviously the gross vehicle weight. So that's something we want to address.
And we already noticed for the public hearing for that language. Because it occurs to me that there are a minimum of 3 people who operate independent buses in Orange for our school system, and perhaps that's something we should want to continue.
Redo the notice and just put it off for...
What? Do you think we need to? I think there are going to be other changes.
Yeah.
I think there are going to be
Yeah.
other changes, so.
I think if
Okay.
we keep it, the base, bones of it similar, obviously, to what we had noticed, I think we can make minor changes.
I mean, if it's not terribly dissimilar, I think we
Right,
can.
we're going to be making an exemption, assuming we would like it to continue. Sorry, the group would like
Yeah.
it to continue, and the public would like it to continue.
And I know we might, I
That
don't know if you, sorry.
It's a commercial vehicle.
Sign says so.
Yeah, but
So-
again, you What's your concern? I mean, we can still make changes to it based on the
Yeah.
public.
Well, you
Yeah,
can make
public
it
comment.
less restrictive, not more, than what you noticed.
Hang on, so is that my head starting?
So that's less restrictive.
Yeah, that would be less restrictive
Just
because it
double
would
check
be a
with Vinnie whether
specific
things-
Yeah,
exception.
but
You
We're
can't
gonna see
really
tomorrow,
go
right?
too far from what
Yeah.
you noticed.
Okay.
Yeah, we are going to see him tomorrow.
I mean,
so.
I don't know what the standard is, but I mean, I don't see that as deviating that far from what we have.
I don't either, but to the extent that someone knows, that is public input we should probably get. If
Yeah.
if there's someone who would like to continue their occupation.
Right.
Right, there's nothing stopping us from
Right. Talking
doing
about
that
it
on
too.
our own. You know?
Okay, good.
And going off of that, I think I have heard from a couple residents, and I'm not sure if anybody's reached out to any of the commissioners about our 7,500 gross vehicle weight limitation.
Yeah.
Apparently, F-250s or mid-size trucks exceed 11,000 pounds these days, which was way over than what I thought. But I asked a couple, just people that I know with the trucks, and they certainly exceed the 7,500 with no utility beds. Your standard, vehicle.
And if it's got, is there a prohibition on that vehicle if there's no signage on it? No. Okay.
Again, for stuff that big, if it doesn't have a commercial plate, we go by weight. That's why
Right.
we have the weight restriction on it. So.
Right, so, so there would be a restriction on the 11,000 even with
Correct.
no signage?
Even with no signage. As soon as it surpasses that the GVW
Yep.
of the limitation that we put on, then, I haven't gotten complaints about it, but I think when we were discussing that at the last meeting or the previous one, some residents heard that and said, well, I know I have a newer, pickup truck that certainly exceeds that amount of weight. So that might be something that we hear when we do get to that.
I mean, again,
Public hearing.
on this whole thing, I mean, aren't we trying to regulate against people running a business out of their home?
their vehicles.
So, instead of having a lot,
So we
or a
have to be
garage at some commercial location where they store their equipment, they're just keeping it on their property.
But we need to. I think we need to be mindful of the fact that when we draft the regulation, it should not catch more than we need to catch, so to speak.
Exactly.
Which I think we could increase that weight threshold if we had to. I don't think that would,
Right.
prove an issue. Obviously, within reason, because you're kind of walking a fine line of a pickup truck and then a box truck. Granted, most box trucks would be commercially plated, but, anything is possible.
Okay. Well, I guess
So when we open that up, I'm sure we can.
we're
hear it.
getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Yeah,
but-
I just did a weight of the Ford F-250, and it says 5,600 to 7,500.
I did the same thing.
It's wrong?
I believe
Okay,
that is
never
not
mind.
accurate.
Oh.
He's talking about not the gross vehicle weight, he's talking about the curb weight, which is different than gross vehicle. Curb weight is how much the vehicle weighs, gross vehicle weight is how much it can carry, including its own weight. So it could be 5,500 to 7,500 pounds, but it can also hold 2,000 pounds in its bag, which puts you above 10,000.
Oh.
For 250.
Instead of the gross
350
vehicle
in
weight, maybe we should use the curb weight
Curb weight?
Yeah.
in our,
care of it.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Well,
Somebody knows something.
Yeah. Okay, so we could definitely look into that. And then the only other thing that I had was November 3rd is our next meeting. I have put a legal notice out for our cannabis-related public hearings for that date. And I have actually received a couple calls in the last 2 weeks from interested
Okay.
parties. So,
Good. All right, well, hopefully that's well attended and we get good input from the public on that. All right, you all set then on your
that's it for me.
report?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, the last item on our agenda is the special permit application submitted by Anthony and Jill Pierce. This is for 574 Lambert Road, and it's to construct a 30 by 40-foot barn in conjunction with a new single-family dwelling. It's requires a public hearing because it requires a special permit. And you recall that we opened the public hearing at our last meeting on October 5th. And we continued the public hearing until tonight to, I think, focus on one issue, and that was we were looking for elevations, which I think we've been provided with. So I don't know if the commission's had a chance to look those over. Does the applicant want to come to the podium in case there are any questions? Maybe you could introduce yourself for the record.
Well, the median.
I'm Anthony Pierce. My wife had to miss tonight. She's home with our almost 2-year-old now. Yeah, I was able to get the elevations for you guys. I lost out on the door configuration. I didn't think it was a fight I wanted to take up with my wife because she wanted 2 doors. I was like, okay. You gotta pick and choose. These are all the house. There we go.
So Anthony, you represented that the height of the barn, the storage, whatever you call it, is going to be less than the house. And it's pretty close.
It's close, and the reason I wasn't sure is the particular pitch and angle of the 3 peaks in the main house, which is what that was what I was trying to articulate, is that my wife was very particular with wanting those peaks at a certain angle, which even like the architect is like, this is extremely steep, but that's the way she wanted it, and he tried to match that peak the best he could in the footprint of the detached structure.
Other than blaming your wife, I understand.
That's what she wants. And, like, I got a lot, it's compromise. I got some things that I wanted, and she got like the design, the aesthetics of the house. I just left up to her. 'Cause I don't really. It's not my thing.
So, Anthony, the on grade, it's a 1,200 square foot first floor.
Yeah, the second floor is going to be smaller. We didn't. So the idea is the dormers are going to be facing the pool, and our thought is once the kids are older, it'd be more of a private space for them, that second area. So I didn't need the whole thing built out, really.
All right. Would you happen to know the square footage, John?
I think I have it on here.
Square footage of the second floor?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
when we approve the accessory structure, it's the gross square footage, not
40 by 30, right? Is that what?
no, but there's a second floor.
Right.
There's the loft area.
So are we approving the footprint or the gross square footage? If we look at the reg,
The reg talks about ground coverage, I believe.
okay,
I believe it's the footprint.
okay.
So a larger ground coverage and a height in excess of 15 feet is permitted, subject to approval of a special use.
Okay, so the special use permit would be for both height and ground coverage.
Height and ground coverage. That's the way I read it. And you need a special use permit if you're more than 15 feet high, and ground coverage of more than 300 feet, but the ground coverage limitation shall not apply to a 1 or 2 car garage accessory to a dwelling and having a coverage of 675 square feet or less. So what are we talking about here in terms of ground coverage?
Just the 1,200.
Right.
Right.
And 29 feet high.
And he was
What the ridge height
way
is
below.
29.
Ground coverage is way below the allowable, as I recall.
Yeah, it's a big lot, so
fraction.
the ground coverage isn't an issue.
Oh, you mean in terms of the zoning standard? Oh, yeah.
Total
I mean,
coverage, yeah.
I didn't even think about that. I mean, it's a 4-acre parcel.
Yeah,
Right?
it's way under.
You, just to confirm, you said there will be electricity to this.
Yeah, I'm gonna run
But not
electricity
plumbing.
to it. No,
Not plumbing.
No, we had thought about that, and when talking with Alan, who was on the Zoom call, who is the engineer for the site plan, he said it would require separate septic by the state. So I was like, I'm not gonna put in separate septic.
Yeah, I think that's something we'd be very hesitant on.
Right,
Yeah, so
that
there's
was
no-
part of the last meeting. I
Right.
asked
Yeah,
applicants about
yeah.
plumbing.
And Jack, you have sign-offs on these,
That we do, yes.
on the plan? Presents no special issues, I would assume, for the fire department, correct?
Nope.
All right, any more questions for the applicant? Did we talk about building materials, or?
You had just said, well, I don't know if you put it on here. Well, you just wrote brick veneer, just that they were like building materials, and it's going to basically be the same thing for the front
It's
of
gonna-
both. It's going to match, which is also why we carried the peak through.
Okay.
It looks like it's, how far is it from the road?
How far from the road? I believe
be
the driveway is 500
408 feet.
408.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to pull it up. I mean, it's set back
Yeah.
the width of the house plus a little bit.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry, the depth of the house plus I think we have it on there 20 feet behind the house, basically. Yeah.
No, I get it.
I mean, one of our considerations is on a special use permit, is the size and intensity of the proposed use and the size of the lot on which it is to be located, so
Not an issue here.
not an issue for me anyway. on that. All right, so no other questions then for the applicant?
No.
All right, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I guess I need to ask for public comment, although I see that that's probably not going
Everyone's
to
up in
happen.
arms.
Does anybody in the public wish to comment on the proposed application? Hearing nobody. All right, is anybody then prepared to move that we close the public hearing, or do you
So
think
moved.
that we need more information from
Well,
anybody?
you can make your findings at the deliberation
Yeah,
time.
oh, yeah. So is that a motion to?
It's a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All right, motion to close the public hearing has been made, it's been seconded, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, public hearing's closed,
Do you want me to go off the record now?
yes. Thank you. All right. Does anybody want to comment first on this?
I think the aesthetics are very pleasing. And the elevations, we were seeking the elevations and we
Yeah.
have them, it's very clear,
See anything objectionable about that?
nothing objectionable.
And actually, the applicant has submitted a much more complete package than we usually get.
That's for
this
sure.
particular
That's for sure.
ask. And that is appreciated because it helps us understand the impacts that we're approving.
And also the lot, given the lot size, this is not an extraordinary ask, even though it's, significantly bigger than the limitation of the 675. It's, given the 4-acre parcel, I have no
Yeah,
problem.
I mean,
with
we've approved similar buildings for this type of use, bigger than this, I think.
And it's set back by over 400 feet, and,
Yeah.
you know,
On some of the considerations that we need to make, I mean, I don't see this as having any impact on traffic. I don't see it adversely affecting the property values in the neighborhood. It fits with the character location of the residential area that it's in. No fire or police protection issues. And some of the general standards, general conditions are, again, traffic, is the proposal in harmony with the neighborhood? nothing contrary to our plan of development. So I don't see anything problematic about it.
Nothing at all.
All right. Well, if that's the case, no reason to dwell on it. Is anybody prepared to make a motion that we approve the application?
Yep. I'll make a motion that we approve the application for special use for the property known as, yikes, hang on, 57 North Street, West I'm sorry,
No.
no,
574
574
Lambert Road.
It's in orange.
Interesting, it's almost the same address.
was it 5?
574
Or
Lambert
Lambert
Road
Road in orange.
for the construction of the 30 by 40
Thank you.
barn.
You got that, Paul?
Yeah, got all that. Yeah,
I think
I incorporate all that into my motion.
All right, we have a motion to approve the application. Do we have someone to second it?
Second.
Tom seconds the motion. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Nobody, okay. Good luck with the project.
Good luck with those people.
Oh, and that's,
Yeah.
that's my copy, right?
Yes, for the town, file on the land records with the town clerk.
Okay, so you bring it to the town, I'll call Alan.
Yeah, and I'll be sending you a certificate of approval as well that you can submit with him.
Okay.
This is none of our business, we're off.
No, we're not.
Oh, we're not, okay. Those peaks of when you have like a Tudor type ridge line, they can build up a lot of snow and you
Yeah,
gotta be careful about shedding that off.
We put, well, I had to put in a plot plan, like extra drainage for it. It's just, it's originally, we started out as a colonial. And my wife wanted a colonial, and then, yeah.
Now she has a castle.
All right,
I think the architect has put in about 80 hours on now.
Jeez.
Okay.
all right, that concludes our agenda. Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Move to adjourn.
All right, it's a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I don't think you can do that.
You almost got away with that one.
Eager to leave.
Commissioner Cornell seconds the motion. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, very good.
Okay.
Meeting's concluded.
2 minutes.